Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed to the Supreme Court. You know why? Because Democrats are feckless frauds. The Democrats have allowed Republicans to seat over 250 federal judges and 3 Supreme Court justices without a fight. These right-wing judges will be with us for the rest of our lives. Democrats could have denied unanimous consent for procedural votes. They didn't. Democrats could have demanded quorum from Republicans for process votes. They didn't. Democrats could have filibustered amendments and filled endless procedural challenges. They didn't. Pelosi could have coordinated impeachment of Trump or William Barr to force the Senate into a procedural session. She didn't. Democrats could have gummed up the nomination, but they didn't have the guts. In a press conference last week, Chuck Schumer floated the possibility of the Democratic Senate caucus denying quorum. He didn't. Dems could have used every trick to stall the nomination past Election Day, but Democrats are lazy, arrogant, and stupid. It wasn't Jill Stein that prevented Democrats from having any balls. The Democratic Party leadership is a disgrace. The only power they wield is forwarding the Republican Wall Street agenda without appearing to be the authors. Yet they will continue to fundraise off their Supreme Court failure. That's the real game here. Democrats approve these judges because Wall Street approves them. And they get the added bonus that progressive legislation will be almost impossible unless the court is expanded. The political theater is endless. So that's what I have to say about that. But guess what? Turns out there's a very juicy story. I wouldn't say juicy, but hilarious. Here's Ana Navarro-Cárdenas. Now, she's a commentator on the CNN since I've seen her since Trump got nominated. And they like her because she's a Republican who hates Trump. Right? And so she's for every horrible thing in the world, Ana Navarro, except Trump. She doesn't like when Trump does it. She's for war. She doesn't like when Trump does it. She's for tax cuts for the rich. She doesn't like when Trump does it. So she tweeted this out. She said, if you're mad that Amy Coney Barrett was just rammed through to replace RBG, then you better get off your duff and vote. Elections have consequences. To those who voted Jill Stein or the pot smoker from New Mexico or wrote in Mickey Mouse, congrats on your new Supreme Court Justice of the United States. To those who voted for Jill Stein or the pot smoker from New Mexico, the pot smoker from New Mexico, do you hear this? She's really mad at everybody who voted for Jesse from Breaking Bad. Yes. This judge appointment, Anna, this is the fault of the voters. That's what she's blaming the voters for the Supreme Court. This is the fault of the voters, Anna, except 5 of these 9 judges were appointed by presidents the majority of voters didn't vote for. Isn't that something? The majority of voters voted for Al Gore. We got George Bush. The majority of voters voted for Hillary Clinton. We got Donald Trump. It's not the voters. It's a system the oligarchs want to hang on to. The voters didn't do this. This is the system, the corrupt system held over from slave owners. That's what this is. And nobody wants to fix it. Why? Because the oligarchs don't want to. Why? Because Anna works for the oligarchs. That's why Anna is an oligarch. Come on. Boy, I'll never forgive Jill Stein for telling Obama not to fight for a court pick that was rightfully his. Damn that Jill Stein. Oh, the people with no power are running everything. What is it? How can we control the people with no power? Why are they running everything's? Everything's? But here's the ultimate irony about this. So she's mad at people who voted for Jill Stein because of who we got on the Supreme Court. She's mad at voters. Okay, here it comes. This is Ana Navarro from August in 2016. Who was she voting for? Not Jill Stein, but she said, I'm writing in my mom's name for president. See, this is your fault for not voting for Anna Navarro's mother. We all should have voted for her mother, and then we'd have a different Supreme Court justice. I already wrote in Anna Navarro's mom's name for the election in 2024, so don't blame me. That's pretty awesome. There isn't a word to describe this level of we need to invent a new word. You know how we invented smugnerant for what's her name?
Barry Weiss.
For Barry Weiss from the New York Times, when she didn't even know what the words and the smears she was throwing around meant. She didn't know what toady meant. There's got to be another word for this. I mean, can you really do this? You come out in October of 2020 and blame people for not voting for Hillary Clinton when you yourself did not vote for Hillary Clinton. There's got to be. So that's how bad this virtue signaling has gotten around Trump. That's all this is. So when every blue check asshole comes on Twitter and says, you got to vote, make sure you vote, 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 vote. That's what this is. That's all this is. It's all just virtue signaling. Here she is. CNN commenter. I'm voting, writing in my mom. Here she is. She's doing an interview with this Scottie Hughes.
Yes.
Who, by the way,
was seated beside her before when Anna Navarro couldn't stop saying
that's
pussy.
right. And let's watch. So, and by the way, I did some shows with her in D.C. for filling in for Ed Schultz.
That's right.
That's how I met her. So watch this. This is fun.
What my question is, Anna, for the last year, I've heard you bash Mr. Trump. Who are you supporting? Who are you supporting?
Listen,
I would love to know that question.
Scottie,
we're 13 days out.
Well, first of all, let me just say this. I haven't been bashing him for the last year. I've been bashing him for the last 19 months.
So
since June 16th, 2015. When
who are you supporting?
Well, do you want to let me answer, or do you just want to continue interrupting me?
Just go on. It's a real simple answer. Who are you supporting?
I am voting, writing in my mom.
Congratulations,
and by
Mom.
the way, it
She's
makes her
got
feel.
one vote. That's
and well, you know what? It is,
and maybe others too. But this is the issue right now.
We Scottie, let me tell you this. No. You've interrupted me plenty. Let me tell you this. I am, and I'm.
Is this their audition tape for The View? Because that's what it feels like. This is like Anna Navarro's audition tape for The View. By the way, Scottie was very pleasant to work with, and it was painless experience. But it's funny to watch her do this to Anna Navarro. This is funny.
American citizen just like you. I may not have been born here. I've got every right to vote my conscience.
Absolutely.
If my conscience does not allow me to support either the Republican or the Democrat, then I'm going to write in whomever I want.
Your
maybe
mother
it's LeBron James, maybe it's my mother.
Let's deal with the issues.
You know, and I have every right to do it. You have no right to question me who I'm going to support, because every single American realizes that they have every right.
If you're going to offer a problem,
and I have said 120 times that I am writing in somebody.
I've heard you say that before, but she's not alone. A lot of people feel that they can't support either candidate. What's wrong with that answer?
No, that's why I said it's a great, but I don't know if that's a feasible solution right now. Does that solve the problem of 25% increase in health and care? Does that solve the problem of...
Scottie, you already went through those talking points. Can we get a little bit more items on the menu?
The babies that might be suffered because we point pro-choice judges on the Supreme Court, that offers no solutions to the problems that Americans are facing. It's a very selfish answer, and I respect it.
No, it's not a selfish answer. It is my right to vote for whomever I want. It is my right to make the statement I want to make or not make.
I mean,
if I have voted for the Republican nominee every single time in my lifetime, and this year I feel compelled to be repelled and repulsed and reject that man, it is my right, and it is what I will do.
You are working and you are.
Boy, did she change her tune. It is her right to vote her conscience, to vote any way she wants. Unless if you vote for Jill Stein, then you're a real piece of shit, I guess, according to Anna Navarro. So this is this is, again, I hate to bring this up again, but this is called shadow. This is Carl Jung talking about his shadow. So when he talks about your shadow, so Anna Navarro's persona is that she wants to be a good person, a good neoliberal, and she's voting for Joe Biden or whatever. And but here she is. This is her shadow. I'm not doing it. Not going to do it. Isn't that funny?
I thought when the news anchor was saying a lot of people feel this way, I thought she was saying a lot of people are voting for her mom too.
Nobody to
You are
question
helping
my
Hillary
choice.
Clinton. You are not helping the
It is
GOP.
I'll tell you what I'm doing. I am not helping the GOP. You're right.
Right, you're
because
not.
you know what? I was a Republican when he was a Democrat. I was a Republican when he was
People
an independent.
change.
And I'm
People-
going to be
people-
a Republican
people
when he gets tired of playing this little game.
So there she is. That's Ana Navarro saying she gets to vote her conscience, but you don't. You know who else tells you get to vote your conscience? Isn't this weird? Watch this. Hillary Clinton tells you should vote your conscience.
Oh.
Isn't that weird? Vote your conscience unless your conscience tells you to vote for Jill Stein. Or Gary, what's his name? Johnson, who was the libertarian, or anybody else, socialist or the communist, or whoever else. Vote your conscience. If your conscience says vote for me. She doesn't mean that. Of course she doesn't. Isn't that awesome? There she is screaming, I get to vote. My vote is sacred. My vote is private. I get to vote however I want. You don't get to tell me. I get to make up my own mind. Boy. There's got to be a word for this, a bigger word than just hypocrite. There's got to be a bigger word for this. I don't know what it is, but I wish someone would. I wish Paul Gilmartin was here so he would invent that word like he invented smugnerant. Oh, you know who else is good at that? Rick Overton is great at making up words for stuff like this. He has a million of them.
You know, what I liked is Ana Navarro the whole time saying, "Oh, will you let me speak? Will you let me speak? Will you let me speak? Okay, well, so what I'm saying is, will you let me speak? Will you let me speak? Will you let me speak?" I just love that.
Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.